Welcome into the Sharp Sports YouTube podcast. My name is Andrew Sharp. We'll be talking everything Denver sports and beyond. Please like and subscribe if you are a sports fan like me. Let's do this. Welcome into the Sharp Sports YouTube podcast. My name is Andrew Sharp. Well, the Denver Broncos come away with a gigantic Monday Night Football win over the Cincinnati Bengals. Denver Broncos dominate the game. Not all that surprising in the final result or the way that it happened, but a win is a win. Certainly in the NFL, you have to take advantage of other teams' misfortunes, and clearly the Cincinnati Bengals are a spiraling bad football team right now. But the Broncos, a little bit of a slow start, but overall a solid Monday night win on national television. Definitely a performance that leaves a little bit to be desired. They have things to work on still, but this is an improving football team. This is a huge conference win for the Broncos. And most importantly, it really helps them with momentum heading into the next part of their schedule. And we're going to talk about all of that coming up right now. Heading into this Monday night game, I will say that the first drive for the Broncos, with them going 3-and-out and Bo Nix looking disorganized and chaotic again, made me feel quite nervous for a few seconds in the game. But Broncos defense was clearly overmatched to the Bengals backup quarterback and Jake Browning, and Broncos managed to get the ball back. Bo Nix starts to settle down. Second drive, less chaos. Run the offense. Run the offense, Bo Nix. You don't have to make hero plays on every play. Just run the short, run, be boring. 7-yard out, 8-yard out, 5-yard run, 6-yard run. Eat clock. I understand that the Sean Payton wants to be creative and splashy, and there were some definite creative splash plays tonight in the game, which I think Bo Nix actually missed a couple of them. One particular to Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram kind of went out of bounds, but that's because Bo was late on the ball. If he doesn't, it's a larger gain for Evan Ingram, who I'm glad to see was integrated into the offense tonight. But Bo, by being kind of boring and methodical, ended up with excellent numbers. Granted, he threw the ball a little bit more tonight, but the balance was there. The Broncos ran way more plays in this game because they were not constantly in 3-and-out situations as they had been at various points of the Charger game, specifically Charger game first half, in which basically for a quarter and a half they were just 3-and-out, 3-and-out, 3-and-out. It's hard to get any sort of rhythm, any sort of momentum, and the Broncos did that tonight. Bo Nix finishes 29 for 42, 326 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 questionable decision on 4th down, but he was trying to make a play. I, quite frankly, would have been happier if they had just either pounded the ball in or take the field goal. I didn't really understand the play call on the, I believe, the 2.5 or 3-yard line. You're that close, either kick and take the points, as you had thoroughly controlled the Bengals in the game up to that point. But one interception is not going to define the game for Bo Nix by any means, and he had a good game. Finished with a passer rating of 97.9. But again, balance. Broncos had 38 rushing attempts. 38 rushing attempts. And Bo Nix threw the ball 42 times. But in terms of completions, 29 passes completed, 38 total rushes. Nix had 6 of those. They were more of scrambles than designed runs. But the big winner in all this was J.K. Dobbins, who I had been pleading with Sean Payton last year to pick a back, any back. And he did pick J.K. Dobbins tonight, 16 attempts, 101 yards. Broncos finally have a 100-yard rusher. Last time it was Latavius Murray, who I believe is not even in the NFL currently. So it's been a hot minute since the Broncos had a 100-yard rusher. Good things happen. As a team, they finished with 186 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, no fumbles, which was excellent. So Broncos offense looked just more calm, composed, less jumbling of personnel, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And they got some continuity. Granted, I understand the Bengals are a horrible defense, but you know what? You have to improve on where you're at. You have to play the teams that are in front of you. And quite frankly, if the Bengals provide basically 60 minutes of organized team scrimmage, then I'm okay with it. I'm totally fine with it. Keep improving. Don't let up. And I think this offense can be even better. And for those who ever doubt the value of a true franchise quarterback in Joe Burrow and an emerging quarterback in Bo Nix, it was quite evident with the Bengals' performance with a clearly overwhelmed Jake Browning, who finished 14 of 25, 125 yards, was sacked 3 times, didn't throw a pick, but essentially couldn't move the ball. The Broncos defense clearly overmatched for him, and this Bengals offense really just didn't do anything. They had, let's see here, first downs, they had a total of 9. The Broncos had a total of 29 first downs. Sound familiar? Oh, wait. That was the Charger game last week when the Chargers had around 30 or so first downs and the Broncos barely managed 9. So a bit of a change of the tune between this game and the last in favor of the Broncos. Bengals were 2 of 11 on third down for a paltry 18%, whereas the Broncos were better, 8 of 14. At one point, they were at a stretch there where they were about 5 of 5 on third down, but second half got a little sloppy. Still totally better. Net yards, Broncos finished with 512 net yards on offense to the Bengals 159. Bengals just completely overmatched by a Bronco defense that played up to their potential. Played a lot better. Played as a unit, quite frankly. Nick Benito had 1.5 sacks. John Frank Myers had 1. So they only had 3 sacks, but honestly, the game was kind of really essentially over at 21-3, given the fact that the Bengals essentially couldn't even get a first down. It was never really in doubt. I wish that the Broncos had been a little less sloppy in the third quarter. I felt like they were either trying to be too cute or got a little bit away from the run game. But against an inferior opponent like this, the Bengals, that's going to happen. It really isn't that big a deal. Only other thing for the Broncos, I would say that they should work on penalties. The penalties, just dumb penalties. I mean, just dumb stuff. Luke Wattenberger, running up the field when he knows he can't do it. It's a screen pass. You got to stay in your lane as an offensive lineman. Call it every time. Offensive lineman penalties, I believe, can be fixed. If that's the biggest penalty issue that the Broncos have coming out of this game, compared to the game that they had, where they had a ton of penalties in the last game, I will take it. And again, just an overall team effort from the Broncos. Pretty much dominated the entire game, as they should. The Bengals, don't be mistaken, are a bad team. I wonder how much longer their coach, Zach Taylor, granted he did take them to a Super Bowl against the Rams, but that's 5 years ago. The NFL is a what have you done for me lately league, and the Bengals' effort tonight was non-professional. So Broncos come away with a win in the Mile High on Monday Night Football in front of a national TV audience, and I'm very happy to see it. Offense looked much improved. Defense played up to their potential. I want to take a little sneak peek at what might await the Broncos going into Week 5. In saying the Broncos the Broncos certainly took advantage of a weak opponent this week in Monday Night Football, but you can't change your schedule, and the NFL season continues. It rolls on no matter what. Speaking of that, as I've said on preview pods and other pods, if for all that the Broncos played well tonight, still had too many penalties, certainly had some times where it felt like they let up intensity and effort a little bit at various points in the game. And they're about to find out exactly where they stand in the league, because the Philadelphia Eagles are at home. The Philadelphia Eagles have not been playing completely up to their potential despite their 4-0 start. But they are still the champs. They are the champs for a reason. They had an excellent year last year. They have excellent players on both lines of scrimmage. I don't think the Denver Broncos have really faced a defensive monster such as Jalen Carter, who plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. Absolute beast inside. And Denver's offensive line is going to have all that they can handle, handling the pass rush of the Philadelphia Eagles. And that includes Bo Nix as well. So you're going to find out exactly where you stand going to Philadelphia on a relatively short week, because you did play tonight and you will play Sunday morning in Philadelphia on the East Coast. But if you take a little bit closer look at the standings already, it was a rough day yesterday for the Los Angeles Chargers and the Las Vegas, I almost want to say Oakland, the Las Vegas Raiders, both of whom lost. However, they lost interconference games, with the Raiders falling to the Bears and the Chargers falling in New York to the New York Giants. But leaves the Broncos technically in third place, Raiders in fourth, Kansas City now in second place, and Chargers still at 3-1 in first place in the division. However, the Los Angeles Chargers have now lost their second most important lineman, Joe Alt, after already losing Rashawn Slater for the season. And so the Chargers definitely have an uphill battle trying to replace both hook and tackles on their offensive line. And if you wonder if those matter a lot, ask the Chiefs when they had two tackle injuries and offensive line woes in the Super Bowl against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in which things did not go well for the Kansas City Chiefs when they lost two very important offensive linemen. It really does hurt quite a bit. So, Chargers are atop the division currently, but there is a lot of football left to be played, including the Broncos' next game against Philadelphia on Sunday. I will be back previewing that on Friday, reacting later on after the game. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, my name is Andrew Sharp, Sharp Sports YouTube Podcast. Please like and subscribe. I appreciate the support, and I'll talk to you next time. Thanks a lot.